I am live. Look at that mug. Oh, hey now. What's up, man? Basketball card guy. Well, baby, I like it raw. I was trying to pull up some questions here. So, live here and lots of fun. What happened to Adam? Links Dubs, clearly not a listener of the show because there is no Adam. You got to love it. Yeah, I mean, I'll get cash for cards here. It's the hobby with Cage. Jump on in there. What's up, everybody? DPZ. I know what time it is where you are on a Friday, and I know you are still at work. So I hope you don't get in trouble for tuning in. Don't use the work computer for checking in over here. Gotta love it. Basketball card guy. I feel like I haven't talked to you in a few hours. It's because I haven't. Feel free, guys, get in the chat, throw your questions up, and Adam was gone before he started. Exactly. Exactly right. So before you get questions, I got a fun one here, and I might as well, before I have any sponsors or anybody, anything crazy like that. Drake, who might not be able to join in because he's with the family at the lake. Not Drake the singer. Everybody knows Drake the PC. Drake PC. He says, I might not be able to make it, but let me ask a question. And then we got into talking about the John Cena wrestling 101 and compared that to The Rock. So that was a fun little conversation. But he brings up a point. I'm wondering in the chat if anybody, is also suffering from this. And I guess he wants my opinion. He says, a lot of people, including myself, have been waiting 2 to 3 weeks plus for our cards to ship from our PWCC and collectors vaults. Customer service has been anything but helpful other than to say, we're sorry and we're looking into the issue. Other than not use the vault, how can we demand better from these services? Should the vaults refund fulfillment fees if it takes over 5 days to ship, etc.? And yeah, Links Dubs. Oh baby, I like it raw. Yeah, hitting him. He's perfectly fine, Links Dubs. He's still on Instagram. You can send him a message. So as far as this goes, obviously everybody's heard about the PWCC news, and I'm sure that was taking up a lot of a lot of their bandwidth. And also they had some layoffs, so you can imagine that they're still figuring it out over there as far as getting the cards out to people and manning the vault and that kind of stuff. What my hope is that now that, there's some clarity on the future of PWCC, no more issues there, that they will fix what became a little bit more of a delayed turnaround time from their vault. And I also would bet, as Basketball Card Guy says in the chat, it's so hard on a company who has a wave of demand in such a short time. It's sort of one of those, self-fulfilling prophecies, right? People were worried that without knowing what was going to go on at PWCC, was it going to take them, more time to get their cards out? So what happens? People are afraid that it's going to take more time to get cards out, so they ask for their cards. So now more people start making requests to get their cards out, and you have kind of like a perfect storm here where they're laying people off. It's going to take a little longer. The rumors are out there, so people ask for their cards, and now they're getting increased demand at a time where it's harder for them to fulfill the requests, and it just compounds. I don't think it's going to, continue that way. I'm sure it's something that they'll fix. I love Drake's suggestion, and if there's anybody from PWCC or any of the vaults listening, that is a way to ensure it. It's sort of like the old Domino's pizza, right? Like you'll get your pizza in 30 minutes, and if you don't, the pizza's free, right? Maybe there is something to be said for, if you vault with us and you make a vault request, your vault request will be fulfilled in 5 business days, or the fulfillment fee is waived or, cut or something like that. It's not the worst suggestion that I've ever heard at all. I don't know whether or not companies are going to be quick to do it, but in the vault race, which is sort of like the arms race now, where everybody is trying to get you to put your cards in their vault, I think it's it's very possible that that's one of the things that one of these companies might end up doing. Yeah, so throw your questions in the chat there. I got Basketball Card Guy doing his. It's so hard in any company who has a wave of demand in such a short time. Yo, what's up, Ashton? What's good with you? Yeah, lots of fun. So I got one more question because we saw it obviously. Yeah, give you good card advice going into Memorial Day weekend. Ryan Bitter, the best advice, right? The best advice is buy what you love. Everybody loves that stuff. Going into Memorial Day weekend, right? So card advice: enjoy Memorial Day weekend. If that means you go to a card show, great. If not, step away from cards. That's always fun too, right? I think I'm hitting a show. Um, I think I'm hitting a show on Sunday. I'm going to a Yankee game tomorrow, so that should be fun. Um, I would say that if you're really looking for card advice at Memorial Day weekend, what's tried and true around Memorial Day is basketball playoffs are usually pretty hot. And here we are, Memorial Day weekend. We're going to see Boston try to make the ultimate comeback. And then they're going to have the NBA finals and baseball starting to heat up, and everybody loves that. Where I'd be looking is football. I'd be looking for football 100%. And I'd be looking for quarterbacks. I'd be buying quarterbacks and looking to actually move them at the national or the week after the national. That's the play. That's one of those, buy when no one's looking, buy when no one's, paying attention to that stuff. And everyone will be paying attention to quarterbacks again come national time. So if you're really looking for Memorial Day advice, that's the best that I could do for you. I got to put this comment up there. Where's the creepy guy from Beckett? Cage? Pastry. Gotta love Canadians. They have the best questions. So where I give them a hard time, right? That's in my news. It's we've been waiting for Beckett now since the Mint Collective back the end of March and beginning of April to kind of come out and you know come out and tell us what they're going to do. There've been focus groups, there've been surveys, there've been all kinds of stuff, and I want to see what they're going to do. I know a lot of people want to because a lot of people have cards in Beckett holders. A lot of people have cards, of big value in Beckett holders, and it'd be nice to kind of, have some clarity on it. I would, if I'm being as honest as I can here, um, you know, I would submit a ticket with Beckett. I'd submit something like that with Beckett, but I would still submit a card, but I'd be curious about what their schedule is, when they're going to release, you name it, because I'd be the one that, sends in a card that gets a 9.5 this week. And then next week, days after my card came back graded, they'll announce their new schedule. They'll announce their new grading. And the card that I sent in will be the exact one that's going to be a 10. And I'm going to have to send it right back in. And I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking like that. And what it does is kind of like, it has a chilling effect, I believe, on people sending cards into them because, you hesitate. You say, why would I send it now when if they're going to change the way they do this in a week or 2 or 3, or who knows, tomorrow, um, I might as well wait till then and not have to send it back in to get my grade, increased. Does that make sense to you guys? I mean, that's kind of where my brain is with Beckett right now. Pastry, your gut feeling, quad 9.5 go to 10s or something totally new? My gut feeling, it's a very difficult question. It really is, because they are telling you 9.5s are 10s, right? That's what you have to kind of suspend what you know about math in the grading world, right? You have to kind of suspend it for Beckett, right? A PSA 10 is a 10. They're going to tell you that a 9.5 is a 9.5. I actually talked about this. I went on Dr. Beckett's show, and he's going to split it up into a bunch of shows, and I asked him about this. And, basically what he said is a PSA 10 is an improvable card. It does not make it a perfect card. A Beckett Black Label 10 is a card that can't be improved. It is a pristine card on all 4 subgrades. Even a Beckett Gem Mint, a Beckett Pristine Gold is better, and there's a premium than PSA 10s. That is an improvable card. You can improve on one of the 4 categories for that. Then a BGS 9.5 with quad 9.5s, they would compare that to a PSA 10. It's confusing. It's difficult. And I know that, kids, my son included, if you put a 9.5, even a 9.5 that says Gem Mint on it in front of him and a PSA 10 that says Gem Mint with a 10, it's almost like the what you don't know can't hurt you kind of thing, right? Like for some segment of the hobby, knowing that it's not a perfect card is actually worse. PSA 10, okay, you can't get better than that. The truth is you can. And we've all seen this. It's why you've got the breakdowns of the Mike Bakers of the world, the gold label, the black diamond, and, people with eye appeal, right? So that's kind of where I go with it. Would I get rid of Min BGS 9.5s in fear they may drop in value when a new scale is released. Honestly, they're in a tough spot, right? Because you want to make sure that a 9.5 gem mint card stays gem mint and stays a 10, right? So you're almost in a situation, right, where you could call every 9.5 a 10. You can call every gem mint card a 10 if you wanted to and leave the subgrades up there. And what happens now will continue to happen. Because right now with 9.5s, you see it, right? With 9.5s, there's min gems, true gems, and gem plus, right? They just have a 9.5 in the corner. And look what happens, right? You pay more clearly for the gem plus. The middle price is true gem, and the min gems are less. The same thing would happen if they called those 10s. They would have a price stratus, right? You know, it'd be very easy, right? The 10s that are gem mint with 2.95s are going to sell for more than one. That with 2.95s and 2.10s are going to sell for more than one with 3.95s and 1.10. Then all the quad 9.5s and the min gems. It's the same kind of thing, right? No, their math should be like an Excel spreadsheet, 9.5 rounds of 10. That's fine, man. I mean, that's I think that there is validity to that 100%. And it's part of the reason why there's some difficulty with this, right? Because how do you have a min gem, which averages out to like a 9.375 with a 10 on it? It just, the math doesn't make sense, right? It's difficult to throw that out there, right? It's difficult but their 9.5s are supposed to be the same as 10s. It's almost, like I said, you almost have to suspend math for it. True Rock, I see you. I'm not going to ignore you because you brought pickles and all kinds of craziness into my last show, and I love you in my lives. I want you to, to stay in. So True Rock asks, of the most important question of the live so far, what is my favorite type of donut? And this is a very personal preference, True Rock. I mean, my son is a fan of blueberry glazed donuts. I don't know where he got that from. It's just weird. I don't understand it, but that's his favorite donut. Not mine at all. Depends on how I'm feeling, right? There's a donut place in Greenpoint, Brooklyn called Peter Pan Donuts that makes the best donuts that I've ever had. And the best donut they have is just a regular old-fashioned donut. They put a whipped cream and chocolate sprinkles on top of it. It's a fantastic donut, but they make it fresh. Like they sell so many that if I can only eat one donut, like that's my death row donut. I'm going to the electric chair after this donut. That's the donut. If I'm just going to Dunkin' Donuts, I'll take a French cruller. Hopefully nobody thinks any less of me for that. A little airy, a little sweet, a little glaze on it. Can't fault a little French cruller. I'll put this one up there because I love you. Yam Wax, you are the man. Been crushing it. Love everything you're doing. Yam Wax, I love you. You are the best. Thank you for the comment. I appreciate that 100%. Jimmy Guns, we live over here. Cage, what's up, my guy? We appreciate all you do. Jimmy Guns does a gun show. He does a live also. There is one difference. See, this is what I do during my shows. I still haven't got that Coke sponsorship yet, but I got the Coke Zero. I will probably change this from Coffee with Cage to, Coke Zero with Cage. There we go. Jimmy Guns, he drinks other stuff during his shows. And if you guys haven't tuned into the gun show, you should, because by the end of the show, he's had enough to drink where he loses so much money. There's so many bargains in his show. So here we go. Choose Rock. If you had to choose between $1 million or never being able to have Chick-fil-A ever again, what would you choose? Whoo, somebody's been watching my content. I think I'm going to tell you something here. I think I would take the Chick-fil-A. People are probably going to think I'm nuts on this one, but I really do. I like Chick-fil-A that much. And here's a little secret. So I'm getting a little fatter. You can see my face is kind of like blumping up a little bit. I'm so stressed out. All the rumors out there get me all stressed. So I'm eating. But my diet, when I trim down, I actually eat a lot of Chick-fil-A. So last year when I lost, like 60, 70 pounds, it was like a Chick-fil-A diet. So I don't know. It works for me. So I'm not giving up Chick-fil-A. I know people are going to think I'm nuts, but Dunkin' Go Nuts is my fave, says Uber Collector. Yes, we were talking about actual donuts, but that's a cool card. I like the Dunkin' Donuts. Juice Rock, I appreciate you too, man. Here we go. That's good. Let's throw this one out there, and let's throw them in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. What's everyone's favorite 90s insert? It's funny. The age group sometimes decides this one, Jordan. My favorite 90s insert by sport is different than what I think the more expensive 90s inserts are. And it's based on my age. I'll be 47 years old this year. Makes me old, makes me an old fart. I get it. Makes me, an elitist because I'm old or something. I don't know. So when I was collecting as a kid, right, I was collecting in, 89, 90, 91, 92. Inserts were just starting to come out and they were really cool, but they weren't numbered yet, right? So for me, my favorite inserts, just a regular refractor. Some people call that a parallel, but refractors came out like 93, right? 93 finest. That was awesome. But also what was there as far as inserts, I love in baseball hot gloves. They're cool. Like I love it. But if you look at the first year hot glove from Flair for Griffey, there's a ton of them. There's a ton of them even in high grade. They're not that expensive card, but I don't care. I have one and it will always stay in my PC because I love it. I love the hot gloves. In basketball, I loved Scoring Kings. I loved the Power and the Key from Ultra. I loved it. And I collected football cards in the mid 90s because I was a big Drew Bledsoe collector. You guys can learn something from that, right? Because there are people who collect quarterbacks now who are going to turn into Drew Bledsoe, a damn good quarterback who, Brady basically took his life. And imagine, imagine Bledsoe would have had some of the success. I'd be a pretty wealthy man. But there were some really cool inserts. Take a look at Zenith Z teams, guys, from 1995 and 96. They're across all sports. Hockey has them. They have a technology called Dufex on them. Very shiny foil cards that are really awesome looking. Not the rarest, but really awesome looking. But if you go to people who are slightly younger than me, 4, 5, 6, 8 years, they collected Kobe, right? They collected chrome with refractors, different than the finest refractors, but they also got into the numbered parallels, which made it very different. You're talking about your PMGs, you're talking about your metal stuff. It just changed so much from the early 90s to the late 90s. That's True Rocks has essential credentials. I mean, talk about expensive stuff, Jimmy Gunn's strawberry shortcake, use a Krispy Kreme donut, it'll change your life. There we go. We got the whole deal. Coke, I'm a little behind on the comments, but keep them coming, guys. What's 1 million worth if you can't spend it at Chick-fil-A? Lauren goes here. This is the comment of the show, right? What's 1 million worth if you can't spend that Chick-fil-A? I mean, 100%. If I were a millionaire but couldn't buy Chick-fil-A, I would not feel like a millionaire. All right, here's another question. Cage, when you talk with Dr. Beckett, did he say what he thought they should do in terms of grading? Give you any hints as to what he suggested? No, that man is a professional. I asked him point blank, when is a 9.5 a 10? I led him right to it. And he said he spoke to them. He said he gave them suggestions. He said he had ideas, but he specifically said he wasn't going to say what they were because who knows what Beckett's actually going to end up doing. And, he's a smart guy. He doesn't want to say, this is what I told them. And then when they come out with something, if it's not that, it's fuel for the fire. You know what I mean? I have a feeling I know what he suggested, though. And let me throw one just because whatever. It became almost, let's talk about Beckett, which is old news, but whatever. I know I was just on his show. How about this? What if they kept the gold label and the black label 10 pristines, but every gem mint card that is a true gem mint card, they just put a 10 on it and didn't give you the subgrades. Then you had a true gem mint card, just like PSA and SGC and CSG and everybody else has it. The problem, of course, is that people want the subgrades. They want to know what the card is. And that actually, if you think it through now, it provides a report on the cards. It lets a grader know why the card is being graded the way it is, and then lets a buyer know what they're paying for, what they're getting in the card. The recent shift in the hobby and why Beckett has taken a little bit of a backseat to the other graders is a lot of the folks who have come into the hobby and are dealing in the hobby now, it's just not that important to them. It's people who are flipping the cards, and a 10 is much easier than a card that has to be explained. So interesting stuff. It's kind of where I go, right? Round ball royalty refractor. Oh, baby, I like it. I love that. What made them go with the grading scale to begin with? Jordan, I mean, it's just the way that it has been. It's as long as I know. Hot shots, hot numbers, both flares. Love that because that's very much like the hot glove. I love the hot numbers in flare because of the, the numbers behind them, sort of like that, what do you call it? Like, I don't even like sport flixy almost, like it changes the picture. Beam Team basketball was that 90s. Jimmy Guns, 100%. Beam Team first came out in 92 Stadium Club, Shaq's rookie year. But it was in Series 1. The Michael Jordan is in Series 1. Shaq was in Series 2. The Beam Team set goes across both series of that product. I remember getting a Jordan Beam Team in a pack and being mad that I didn't get a Shaq. that's how basketball collecting was in 92. How'd I make out on the gold Duncan? Uber Collector's a listener. He's a listener. Lost money on it, but I think the hobby is down overall. It's funny when you get to learn who the Duncan collectors are, because after the card ended at a $3,000 and change loss to me, which, I think the market's probably down 30 something percent or more since I bought the card. So it's kind of what I expected. I messaged a couple people, and yes, I was able to very quickly find out who bought the card. So I'm sure it will be paid for. It's in the hands of a big Spurs collector, a Duncan person. They're looking for I think they're looking for a Tony Parker gold now to kind of match it up and do their stuff. So I know who got it. It didn't surprise me. Makes me think I should have just sold it to him directly, but it is what it is. Pastry. I'm not dating. Look at this. I put it up there. If you put it in there, I'll put it on there. I'm not dating Black Jade and Wolf. No, that's not me. But she is out of my league, so she wouldn't have me. Only issue with Chick-fil-A is they're closed on Sundays. Amazing food. So DPZ, you have to be smart, right? What you need to do with that is you need to buy it on Saturday. Buy enough of it on Saturday to last you, because Chick-fil-A is so good you can reheat it. As a matter of fact, you can put it in the oven right in the bag it comes in. It's got the foil on it and everything. Boom. Come on. Not open Sunday, just buy more on Saturday. It's easy. My son would tell me Raising Cane's beats Chick-fil-A any day. So I've had Raising Cane's once. They're coming here. The first one's opening in New York City, not far from my office. Cage match between Chick-fil-A and KFC. So someone in my office who I worked with told me the Popeyes chicken sandwich is so much better. It's a great sandwich. I said, have you ever had Chick-fil-A? And we did kind of like a side-by-side taste test, and he's never had the Popeyes sandwich since. Booking my flight to National Cigar Night. Here I come. MMA Cardboard, you've done 3. You've been at 3 cigar nights. I will find a way. We will definitely be smoking cigars. And you got the full cage experience last time. When did we finally call it a night? 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And you were saying some fun stuff to Jeff Wilson too, which was the value of a cigar night. What's the MJ card that looks like the Flair New Heights card got like stars on it or something? I don't know. Anybody in the chat, maybe John Basketball Card Guy, know what this is? MJ card that looks like Flair New Heights, but it's got stars on it. I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, lenticular. See, I'm a little behind on the lenticular is exactly what I'm talking about. Power in the Paint. I think it was Power in the Key was the one that I like. DPZ. I love the Power in the Key one. Neon foil from Ultra 93-94. That was Chris Webber, Penny Hardaway rookie year. And those cards are really cool looking, like colors that you had never seen on cards before. Yeah, Truce Rock. We talk about cards, food. Ask another question, man. I mean, I'll do this for another 5 minutes. I try to keep these to about a half an hour. People run on the treadmill to these, and my audience tends to also like Chick-fil-A and fast food like I do. If I keep them on the treadmill for more than a half an hour, people may die. I know I might if I was on the treadmill for more than a half an hour. So throw those up. Another fun one, now that you're talking about a Power in the Paint, there is a cool insert. Guys, I'm going to give you all my fun stuff. But if you find these, send me some links, right? It was in Fleer, but they made these jumbo packs called like cello packs. Like they were, you could buy like it was a weird kind of display on it, but like there were fat packs almost, right? For Fleer, I think it was 93, 94. They were called Tower of Power. Take a look at that. Shaq definitely had one. And I know Robert Parrish had one because I opened packs at a show recently, hoping to get a Shaq. If somebody has a Shaq Tower of Power, or you see one where there's a good graded one, or you find it, maybe there's one on eBay right now. I should have looked before I told you this. I need a Shaq Tower of Power. And what's funny about it is it's sort of, I don't want to say Arena stole the idea because Arena never stole anything. But you know the cool PMGs where Michael Jordan's jumping over Chicago and like the buildings behind him and stuff like that. Everybody loves that card. If you look at the Tower of Power, it's the same thing. It's centers. That's why it wasn't a really well received set, because it's big men and they weren't really collectible. Shaq obviously was, but they have like buildings behind them. It's like a tower. They're skyscrapers. These centers. John would know the pack odds probably. Oh man! All right, so we're having some fun. Let's go through some questions, and I'll wrap it up for you guys. Cage, any vintage you're eyeing up, or do you feel vintage will still continue to pull back as market got too heated? I'm going to tell you guys a card. I've said this on the show probably a couple times, but a card that I think is really undervalued. I own one, and I think I would buy more. I have a cool eye appeal one. I think when you think about the names in baseball vintage, for franchises, obviously there's a ton of Yankees out there, right? Everybody loves to talk about. Lauren, you found the Tower of Power, Shaq? Good. See, I'm like a cat with a laser printer. It's a cool card. The Shaq Tower of Power is a cool card. Now I need one. Now if somebody finds a PSA 10, you got to send me a link because now I need one. Anyway, so you think about like teams in baseball. The Yankees, they have Babe Ruth, right? And Lou Gehrig and Mickey Mantle. There are not that many, people are synonymous with their team, right? Like, ADHD Cage, that's me. I definitely, look, I just did it again with your comment, Courtney. Like, what's going on over here? Look over here at the comments. So, the Red Sox. Who is the Red Sox? Who is like Mr. Baseball, Mr. Red Sox? It's clear. It's easy, right? To me, this is an easy one. And when I close my eyes and think about like vintage baseball Red Sox, it's pretty easy and start forward. Yeah, you can harass me like I harass you. Look at this. Yeah, you're taking me off my topic. Ted Williams and the 39 play ball. It doesn't get a lot of love because it is, I'm just going to say it, it's an ugly-ish card. It looks like an old photo, right? In the 30s, you had the Gaudi cards, which are colorful. They're gorgeous. And if you get into the 40s, you have Leaf, which has really cool color cards too. Bowman's kind of ugly. But then in the middle there, right, you have this 1939 play ball set, which looks like old vintage photography. It's a weird kind of, picture of Ted Williams kind of swinging the bat. It's usually off-centered. It doesn't have the greatest eye appeal, but it is Courtney, you said it's ugly. It's okay. I mean, I think that is a classic card that does not get the love that it should. It's a card that hasn't seen a meteoric rise. He is the GOAT for that fan base, right? People love Ted Williams. Boston is obviously a huge franchise. And, the guy has a great story. If they haven't done movies about him, they will. I mean, this is a dude who batted 400 for a season and then lost years of his prime going and fighting for our country, but still managed to hit. I think he was a 500 home run hitter. I mean, the dude, Mike the God, happy Friday. So anyway, that's a vintage card I own. If I didn't own one, I would be buying one, and I may be looking to add. I don't have the best one in the world. I have a 5. But it is a nice 5. It's a centered 5. It's one of those like, eye appeal, PWCC designation 5 kind of things. It's the nicest 5 I've ever seen. So I'm putting these up here. Special Forces, Duncan, linchpins expensive because linchpins were impossible to get. And because they are, punch hole cards, they're very hard and high grade. Squirrel, good. Loud collector. I'll take it. Squirrel. Mike Trice, am I going to the Burbank show in Anaheim in August? I made a mistake of booking a Disney World vacation, which is what I do almost every August. I should have done Disneyland because I will be on vacation when that show happens. So I most likely will not be able to hit that California show unless I leave my family in Florida, fly over to California. I should have done that. You guys throw one more question in there. I'm going to ask one more question because we just hit the 30-minute mark. I'll answer Truce Rock's great question here, and we'll see what else. Have I ever eaten too much to eat that I felt sick? Have I ever had too much to eat that I felt sick? So I can tell you that the meat sweats are a real thing, 100%. I have had the meat sweats. I have also been thrown out of a Chinese buffet for eating too much. That is a true statement. My wife watched it. She was there. She was laughing. My brother and I are large individuals. We ate all of the dessert that they had on the dessert bar. They actually went out to a store and bought Entenmann's. We ate all of that, and we got thrown out. It really actually it really happened. John, listen. If you really need 30 minutes in the car because now I've ruined the show for you, just call me. I'll just do a live 30 minutes for you in the car. We're all set. No worries. Mike Trice, I don't know if that really makes me a hero, but I'll tell you, I was not welcome back in that Chinese buffet. I have because you're not asking good questions. Courtney, give me an invite to Ship Shawana and also tell me if I said it right. I don't like leaving my son. We just opened basketball, our Friday opening. I was going to get him some baseball cards. But he when I left for the store, he said, get me basketball. And my LCS was real light on basketball. The only basketball product he had from this year was a Prism draft box, which for $100, you get 4 autos. Is not the worst thing in the world. And he loved it because he pulled a Jaden Ivey rookie purple ice auto out of 99. So he's like, look at this. This is great. I love it. This was awesome. I love it. So one more. It actually revolves around Diet Coke. So I'm going to take a big swig, and then I'll let you guys be on with your weekends here, okay? I'm a hero. Michael Trice, I'm a hero. I am the culture. There's Amish people everywhere in Shipshewana. There's Amish people in Pennsylvania. I like the Amish. If you watch the movie Kingpins, they could bowl. Hold on. It's like that. So I'll give you a chance to ask 1 or 2 more hobby questions with one more buffet story because obviously the fans like that one, and Truce Rock is all about what I eat. So last time it was about my shoe size. So that was interesting. We're getting better, Truce Rock. We're getting better with these questions. People enjoy a good buffet story. While I was dating my wife, I took her and her sister, I think it was Martin Luther King weekend, bad weather. We went to Atlantic City. I actually watched the snow game, watched the Raiders lose to the Patriots, where Vinatieri kicked the field goal off the snow. I almost destroyed my hotel room as a Raider fan. That was just hard to watch. But anyway, the next day we went to a brunch, and it was the Bally's brunch. It was supposed to be like the fancy. I have a burrito story for you too, Truce Rock. It was the fancy brunch. It was like the place to go for brunch. It was $50 a person, which at the time was a huge amount of money. And I think I was in law school at the time still. I think I was still in law school. I wasn't making money. My wife was in law school. We were poor. But, we took the trip down to Atlantic City, and I paid for the buffet for me, for her sister, for her, $50. I'm out $150. I'm out, tip, the whole deal. And I'm with a bunch of my college friends who I had a different nickname in college. Wow, we're having some fun here. You guys are getting all backstory. This is a good episode. I wasn't called Cage in college. My nickname in college was The Appetite. You can read into that whatever you like, all right? Whether it was about food or something else, you can read into it however you like, but I was known as The Appetite. So my friends, of course, were thrilled to come to a buffet with me, a brunch buffet, $50. So they're taking the orders, about to sit around, about to, go get some food, taking the orders. And they say, all right, what does everybody want to drink? And, people are ordering grapefruit juice and fancy juices. Somebody ordered, whatever the heck it was. Beanie Babies. We'll get to that. I might have to just cut you off and save those questions for next time, though, because, I'm very verbose. And they cut to me, and I said, I'll take a Diet Coke, please. And they said, sorry, sir. There are no, you name any kind of juice. You want a papaya juice? We'll get you any kind of juice, but there's no soda at the buffet. Now, I'm sitting in Bally's. I'm looking out the window at the casino and watching deadbeats get free Diet Coke at the slot machines. So I say very nicely, I said, can I just go out there and get a soda and bring it back? Or can maybe somebody go out to casino and get me soda? Are you really telling me in this whole hotel, this brunch, I can't get a Diet Coke? And, my friends are like, you should just get him a Diet Coke because it's going to be bad if you make him mad. No, we can't. You can't have a Diet Coke. So I went up to the table and I grabbed, they had this huge jumbo shrimp plate. It was just like a big dish with ice and jumbo shrimp. And I just picked up the entire bucket of shrimp and brought it and put it in front of me. And of course, now the the waiter comes over and the manager comes over and says, "What do you can't just take the whole plate unless you plan on eating the whole thing." And I said, "That's the plan." So I ate every single shrimp that they had in their buffet. And these are jumbo shrimp is an oxymoron, but these were jumbo shrimp. And of course, my friends were hilarious. The tables around are cheering 108, 109, 110. They're counting how many of these jumbo shrimps. It was like watching the Nathan's hot dog eating contest and Kobayashi, and they're counting. So of course I finish it. I give them the plate back, and they're like, "Sir, are you finished?" I go, "No, I noticed you guys had chocolate covered strawberries." Went up, and I took their bowl of chocolate covered strawberries, and my friend's like, "You should have just got him a Diet Coke. You should have just got him a Diet Coke." So anyway, this is a true story, guys. I'm telling you, you should have got him a soda. Just go to the casino. He's not going to stop eating. So I had 58 jumbo-sized chocolate-covered strawberries after eating every shrimp at the buffet. So it's a fun one to end on, I guess, guys. So I'm glad you came here. You get to share. Loud Collector. I mean, you know me now. It's not that hard to see me doing this. This is a true story. There is a burrito story, Lauren. If maybe I'll share it in an episode this week. If not, remember to ask me about the burritos for next Coffee with Cage, Cola with Cage. You guys, I love each and every one of you. There's some rumors out there about me that I am a part of the hobby Illuminati and all kinds of other stuff. I'm not even going to address them because I'm just having fun. I'm loving life. I'm loving you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I know I did. Please have fun this weekend with your families. It is a great long weekend. I hope you all have great weather wherever you are. Have some fun, buy some cards. I hope the Ship Shawana show or, this weekend show that you're doing, Reckless Family, I hope you guys do well there. You're doing great stuff for the kids. And, we'll have another episode for you guys Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and next week. We'll keep it coming and don't do anything stupid. Otherwise, you might make the hobby news week on Tuesday. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for joining.